Welcome to Westcity Stories. This is a collection of people from our church sharing a snapshot into their life so far. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Westcity Podcast. It's time for episode 4, and I'm very pleased to welcome to my humble abode, Mark Tan. Good morning. Well, good afternoon, actually, now.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for welcoming me here. It's a very nice place. I feel very at ease here.
I'm glad I've been able to put you at ease and as you said earlier, I'm going to interrogate you with a bunch of questions. Yeah. I think it's always a good place to start off with is how or why, and they're probably part of the same question, did you make your way to the Westcity community?
I've had a unique history actually. So when I first came to Perth when I was about 15, this was close to 2 decades ago. I actually lived nearby. So at that time, the previous iteration of it was the Westcity Church of Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, so at that time, even as a teenager, I wanted to go to a church. So it happened to be that church. Went there for 3 years, and then uni happened, and the rest of life happened. And recently, about 3 years ago, since I was living in West Leaderville at that time, I just decided that, I've served faithfully in my local church community then. Yeah, and I felt, God was telling me to move somewhere else where my talents can be utilized to His glory. And so it happened to be Westcity. Of course, it looked very different from the old Westcity Church of Christ. But what was good was that I already knew a few of the people there, those who stayed behind. But the demographics was different. Yeah.
Yes. So you've seen it kind of grow over the last few years.
In a sense, yes. Although there was a very, very huge time gap.
Yeah.
So I was there for 3 years, and then I was away for many years, and then, I came back to its current iteration.
I love that. I love the way that Westcity just pulls people in from around the city of Perth and the world, really. It's quite fascinating.
It does.
So tell us about your early years. Where'd you grow up? Where were you born? A little bit about your family.
Yeah, I grew up in Singapore. So
are you Singaporean? You were born in Singapore?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and I've got an elder brother.
Yep.
Yeah, who is 11 years older than me. So we're almost in a different generation.
Yes, you would be.
Yeah, and our parents. Then when I was a teenager, then my parents, they wanted to expand their business here. So they were looking into that as an option. And so I came here, and after that they decided, it's not really suitable. So they went back, and I stayed.
You stayed? Wow.
Yep.
So your parents and your brother are back in Singapore?
Yes. Wow. All of them are. Yeah.
Do you miss them?
Since Singapore's only a few hours away, before COVID, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, I could fly back perhaps once every 2 years or once a year even. Yeah, so I still do get to see them. We keep in touch. Technology is so advanced these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like you're in the same room in a way with FaceTime and stuff like that.
It does.
Yeah. What does your brother do?
My brother's a computer network engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very technical.
It is.
And so what about your family lifestyle? Like, how did it compare growing up for a time in Singapore and then growing up over in Perth for a bit?
In Singapore, it's the kind of like a traditional Asian family type dynamic. And of course, when I first came to Perth, it wasn't that much of a culture shock because I was young at that time. When you're younger, it's easier to adapt.
Yeah.
But one thing I've learned is I've learned how to become independent very quickly. Yeah, and it's more through trial and error. Yeah, so for a lot of my life, kind of in my teenage years, I've had to figure out a lot of things myself. Yeah, which is a good thing. Yep.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It kind of creates a bit of resilience.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So what about your working life? Where did you start?
At the end of uni, so I did my undergrad, and then after that I was in Singapore for 2 years doing the military service. It's conscription there.
That's right. It's compulsory.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What was it like being in the Singaporean military?
I guess I took the positives out of it. I know a lot of Singaporean men are very resentful because it's 2 whole years of life. I just took the positive out of it, and in a way, having lived in Australia for a while before then, yet also helped me. So for example, when we had to go out into the jungle, I didn't find it tough at all. Whereas my peers did.
I'm just blown away when you say the phrase when you had to go out into the jungle. What did you have to go out into the jungle for?
It's part of like basic military training. So it's just part of the process. So in Singapore, those 2 years belong to the government.
Wow. That's. I assume you didn't serve in sort of any kind of conflict.
No.
That's good.
Fortunately.
Yes, fortunately.
Yeah.
Wow, that is. And you said there were some positives that you took from it as well. Like, what do you mean by that?
So things like having discipline, learning to get along with different people who have very different opinions. Although deep down in my heart, I'm a bit of a pacifist. So it's not like I would love to glorify war or anything like that. So I just went in with an open mind, with an understanding of the country's deterrence policy. Whether I agree with that or not, that's a totally different question. But I just went to take the positives out of it. At the end of the day, it's still 2 years. You either learn to take the positives out of it, or you kind of suffer in silence.
No, that's exactly right. You're basically saying you either make something of it and enjoy those 2 years as best you can, or you just you have the worst 2 years of your life, really.
Pretty much.
No, that's fantastic. Was there a sense of joy when you left for yourself? Like you go, my 2 years are done, I can now start life, or is it?
It's a mixture of joy, but yet uncertainty as well. Because I didn't know, where I wanted to be in life. Because at that time, at the age of 18 to 20, you don't really know what you want to do yet.
So what happened after you left the military?
I came back to Perth. So at that time, I was a bit conflicted. Do I stay in Singapore? Do I, come back to Australia? And I kind of thought of it in the long term, that like in the future, if I'm going to be a family man, where do I want to start my family? And Perth is just a really beautiful place. I really like it. So I came back here, did my master's, and then life proceeded from there. Wow. So what do you work as now? What do you do? Right now I'm a HR manager at a disability support provider. So I know it has nothing to do with what I studied. But it's just, how God brings people through life in a very different path. So this one happened to be the one for me. You're absolutely right. Where do you want to go going forward, I guess, in that kind of working life? I think I'm in an organization which values me. And I can contribute to it. So I'm quite happy where I am. As the organization grows, then I'll grow with it as well. And I think it's going with the similar mindset to how biblically there's servant leadership, right? So that's how I think of it as well. So I get my satisfaction from seeing my teams being supported, staff members in the organization, staff members out in the field, as well as the end consumer, who are the participants of the programs, people with disabilities. I think a long time ago, the way society treated people with disabilities was, just give them food, shelter, leave them in the corner, don't disturb us. But now it's very, very different. It's, we've got an opportunity to increase their quality of life. And I'm glad and I'm honored to be part of this system. So that gives me joy. It's meaningful, fulfilling work. And also being able to encourage people, not seeing myself as some kind of boss, leader, figurehead type person, but more, I'm here to serve my team. My team is here to serve the end consumer, and so we're all here to serve servant leadership. Man, you've just
you've hit the gospel in a nutshell right there. That is,
Yeah.
that is beautiful. That really is. And you are doing such important work, because I mean, when you talk about the fact that society once put them in a corner,
Yeah.
and that's what Jesus was looking out for, is back in
Totally.
in Israel. He was seeing who's society putting into a corner, because I'm going to go speak with them. I'm going to go look after them.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the kind of mindset that one should have, because the gospel means different things to different people. Yeah, but what you just said, really resonated with me. So like, even in the cases where like say if I'm aware of one of our clients, our participants who might be towards the end of their lives, right? They could have made really bad choices early in life, resulting in some disabilities, and now it's towards the end of their lives. What would give me satisfaction is if at the very end of their lives, they look through their lives and they're like, and they think that in the last few years of their lives, being part of this organization, being supported well, then these are the best years of their life, before they can go in peace. And like, if they're able to think that even though the mistakes of their youth have haunted them, and cut their life short, they're still able to have the joy that they've left with peace in their heart.
Yeah. Oh man, I couldn't say that better myself. That is beautiful. And you've really kind of touched on, I guess, the next question I want to dive down a bit is that topic of fulfillment. What is it in life that just fulfills you? Yeah.
Obviously each person will have a very different answer for this. Yeah, but something like that, I believe that everyone is here on earth for a reason. And if you give yourself to Jesus, then God will reveal what your calling is. Because at the end of the day, I know some people live for their hedonistic pleasures, and if that's them, that's them. Yeah, but I think that if you really want to be a follower of Jesus, then you'll be part of a system which you won't see the end point as being only your own kind of like earthly pleasures, because then if God puts in your heart to do something, and you obey and you do it as best as you can, then the fulfillment and the meaningfulness, is that even a word? But it'll just come naturally to you. Yeah,
absolutely. What is it for you, I guess, and this is a personal question.
Yep.
What is it that you feel God's put in your heart?
I think it's to serve at this stage of my life. It comes with my career. So I always joke that I've been joking recently that I've got no life, because I spend my weekdays at work, and then I'm also doing a diploma in HR.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of consistency, what I'll do is I'll stay back in the office for an hour and a half or 2 hours, a few weeknights, weekday evenings, and just get on with my work with that. So that means during the week I mostly have no life. But I'm at peace with that, because I can see how it glorifies God, how it aligns with my own mission and calling at this stage of life. Of course, in future, if God puts something in my heart, then it'll be different. But for now, this will be it.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. For those who will be listening to this right now, what tip would you want to share with them about living well? Like, you're obviously you are living well. You're living life to its fullest, in a way that God would want everyone to live. Yeah. And what would be your advice to people for that?
I think one thing that really resonates with me, and I think really resonates with the Westcity community as well, is being able to understand people's viewpoints or where they're coming from. Because I think that in this world there's so much conflict, and a lot of it is based on thinking about one's own viewpoint and being so fixated on that they fail to consider others. So this could be in your personal relationships with people in your life, as well as when you come into the bigger questions that might be very controversial. Yeah. So some of those really tough topics, I think people are quick to judge and not actually think, oh, okay, what are the concerns of the other sides of the fence? How did they come to that conclusion? And how could we be at peace together with this? And how can I not be affected by that to the point that it's hurting my own mental health? Yeah. So I suppose this would be a principle that I try to abide by as much as possible. Yeah, and I think it would really do everyone a world of good. Yeah.
No, I think you're exactly right, that being able to at least see another person's perspective on life.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that, West City as a community is very good in this area, because a lot of the sermons, especially recently, is talking about, not seeing yourself in one group and having and putting people in the others group. Yeah, so I think that's something that particularly drew me to Westcity, because if we're honest about the church community, not every community sadly feels that way. They get fixated on a position and then they really campaign hard on it, drive home the message, and basically alienate everyone else. Yeah.
No, I think you're exactly right. And it's not just church communities that do that as well.
That's right.
We live in a world which is constantly drawing us to pick a side.
Yep.
Whether that be on political issues, religious issues.
Yep.
It could be a whole range of things.
And definitely.
We're constantly being told, you have to pick a side on this.
And,
And it's really hard, because as soon as you align with one side, people assume that means that you then dismiss a whole nother side, which is inclusive, maybe 50% of people. And that's, it's just not.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a really tough one, because it at the end of the day, we don't want to dismiss 50% of people based on a particular view that they have.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're hitting it. You discussed a little bit in that answer as well. I guess some societal norms and injustices that you see in the world, and that is an unfortunate part of being a human, is that we do witness that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is there an injustice or something that you see in society that is normalized that you want to address, or that you feel like, that's at the top of my list for me, I just can't stand seeing that, and I want to see radical change in that area?
I can't pinpoint it to a certain area. When I was a little bit younger, I used to go to all kinds of rallies. Protests and rallies, and I think a lot of these things are still in my heart. So environmentalism, refugee rights, these are the two areas that I feel most strongly about. I don't really go to rallies anymore, but that doesn't mean I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah.
It's just that I think I'm most effective, engaging these issues by talking with people when the issues do come up, because I know that if I'm engaging in that way, I know how to regulate the way I get my point across, not in a very aggressive way, but to be able to have proper dialogue and also think about how did they come to their conclusion, and how can both of us learn from one another and think about the issue deeper. Whereas with something like rallies, you're seeing things from one viewpoint, and then if there's any dissent, they get shouted down, they get cursed at. So I don't think that approach is very useful. But that's just my personal opinion.
That's fantastic. It really is. And touching on that refugee kind of issue as well, I think do you think you sort of align with those kind of that particular issue because you're a migrant, you came to Australia with your family, so you can see that there's other people in life who coming from far worse circumstances than I am, that just want a chance at an opportunity.
I think for me it was a process of exploring, being transformed and becoming mature, because I think that when I first came to Australia, I did buy into the rhetoric that refugees are taking our jobs, they're like bringing terrorism in, all that kind of
fear mongering.
Yes. So I totally bought into that. But I think later, as I matured, and then I even got some chances to meet with people from refugee backgrounds, and then I kind of understand, that most of them, they're not these so-called economic migrants. They're really fearing for their lives. That's a reason why they're running away from where they were from, because otherwise, if you think about it logically, you see, if you're in your homeland and it's peaceful and your friends are there, your family's there, your way of life is something you're very comfortable with, why would you run away? Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, and like having met refugees myself, the common thread is that a lot of them, they just want to be in a safe place. So it didn't really matter to them whether they ended up in Australia, in Sweden, or anywhere else. It's just that they want the same things that us here in the West want, to be able to be safe, to be able to have certain rights, to be able to, for some of us, it's raise a family. Yes. So they're not very different from us.
No.
It's just that their story and their background is different. In the course of my work now, we've actually hired a lot of people, a lot of disability support workers, who have had refugee backgrounds. So I'm able to hear their stories as well.
That's
so
fantastic.
they could have escaped from a certain country, running away from the militia, and say stayed in a refugee camp in Kenya for a decade while they're being processed, and just by chance they ended up here in Australia, where the starting days would be very difficult. No one would give them a go.
Exactly.
No one would give them a job. There's like language barrier, to a certain extent, cultural barriers too. So it's just having empathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being empathetic of those people, because they have gone through stuff that most of us here in Australia will never go through.
True.
Yeah, I mean, we're called to welcome the sojourner, the traveller, the weary, the refugee.
Totally. Yep.
I love that. I love your heart for them. That's beautiful. It really is. How has your faith impacted your life?
I think my faith, it's when I look back, I probably have the strongest faith in the last like half a decade to decade. So before then, I first got exposed to the gospel when I was in my mid-teens. And then after that, I accepted Jesus. But then of course there were times of backsliding. Think that's a story that many of us believers have. Yep. Of course, not everyone, but that certainly was my story. And so even during the backsliding times, if someone would ask me a question, do you believe in God? I would tend towards yes. So even when I was being rebellious and disobedient, I could I could feel loved by Jesus. And so how it actually affects my life is like the thing that really strikes me, in Christianity is it's a very relational, personal relationship, right? And it also gives me some clarity of mind. So let's say that if I'm in a bit of a dilemma and I want to make a decision, then I would think about it, pray about it, and then trust that I'm making the right decision. So definitely has impacted my life a lot. And when I was younger, there was a period of time when a lot of my personal friends and my company were like, drunkards and people whose lives was totally against Christianity. And now looking back at where I am now and seeing where they are, I could see that sometimes the reasons why Christianity seems restrictive, it's actually not. It's actually liberating. So God's boundaries are there in place, not because He's a killjoy, but it's because He wants the best for us, and if we honor Him and we follow these principles, then it saves us a lot of trouble and heartache later on. So it's actually liberating. It's not restrictive.
100%.
Yeah,
I would completely agree with that. Yeah, God doesn't kill joy; He brings joy.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't force these rules upon you. If you want to rebel, you rebel. But then, when the consequences come, it's on you.
Yeah. And at the same point as well, once the consequences have hit, it doesn't mean that God has written you off at all. He actually calls you back home.
Yeah.
And just like the prodigal son, He welcomes you back into the house. He gives you a purple robe and puts a ring on your finger.
Yeah, and that's the joy and beauty of it. God's love is so vast that we can't even imagine it.
Yeah. 100%.
Totally. Yeah.
Come the end of your life, when it's all said and done.
Yep.
How would you like to be remembered, Mark?
Well, I think like some of your previous guests, cremation's the way to go. Yep. Yeah. But in terms of how I'd like to be remembered is that, just someone who has glorified God, and someone who has made a positive difference in people's lives, I guess. That's the simplest way I'd put it. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be complicated either.
True,
I think
true.
You've kind of hit the nail on the
You
head.
do what you can.
Yeah.
You're
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You've mentioned you want to be cremated, and you knew the question was coming already to wrap it up with. What would you want written on your headstone?
That I was someone who made a positive difference. In people's lives. Yeah.
Well, I can safely say, Mark, having known you for a couple of years now, and having a deep conversation like this, that you were definitely doing that, and it would almost be an understatement if that was on your tombstone. I just want to say thank you so much for sitting down with me today in the back house and enjoying a conversation for Westcity. Thank
you for setting all of this up, and as the Westcity community, we really appreciate it all that you do.
Oh, thank you.
And I look forward to meeting more people at church. So come have a chat with me after the service, and sometimes I serve at Creche as well. So I
think that's a fantastic call out as well. Come say hi to Mark, get to know him. He's a wonderful guy, and he's got plenty of great stories as well. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening to the Westcity Stories Podcast. We hope you found today's interview enriching and inspirational.